I'm really irritated and disappointed, man. I thought Seth Rollins was about to take this to the next level, but after what I just saw on Monday Night Raw, this past Monday Night Raw, I'm not even, like, I just don't even care no more. Like, let's just say it like that. I don't care. I don't care anymore. This is bad. This is very bad. You guys still might do all type of great numbers and sell tickets, but for the true fans of professional wrestling, this is horrible. This is horrible. Y'all killing any type of momentum Seth Rollins just established. Hurry up and get this together, man. I don't know if y'all gonna add more people to the group. Hopefully, because y'all need somebody to round this group out now. That way Braun Breaker could still be green in the background and Seth Rollins could still be, hopefully, the star that he can be, because he hasn't turned into that yet. When we first saw Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns join up together, it looked and felt like high-level professional wrestling. It felt like we were seeing history in the making. When I just saw Seth Rollins wearing that outfit and Braun Breaker with the black suit and Paul Heyman just kind of chilling with them, this is not it. This is not it at all. Paul Heyman, he doesn't even know what role he wants to play yet within this group, because every time we've seen him be an advocate or a best friend or a manager or whatever he wants to call himself with a particular athlete, he always kind of has like a certain gimmick attached to that wrestler. With Seth Rollins, even Paul Heyman doesn't even know what role he's supposed to exactly play with Seth Rollins. Do you worship him? Do you be scared of him? You know, is it just a business partner so you could kind of relax? He doesn't even know yet. He doesn't know. Like, if you really pay attention to Paul Heyman, this is the first time in a long time where he doesn't know his role in this group. So how can Braun Breaker even shine in this dynamic when you got a guy like Paul Heyman who's been in the business for 40 years and at the top of the business creatively? How can Braun Breaker shine if a guy like Paul Heyman doesn't even know where he fits in? If you remember episode 2, I spoke about how I felt like Braun Breaker still needs a lot of work. And even though a lot of us support him and want to see him do well, especially since he's a Steiner, I feel like we kind of losing track of the fact that he hasn't showed the it factor yet. He still needs some work. And I tried to give benefit of the doubt with him being with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. And I know it's just one weekend, but this past Monday Night Raw, it was just like the WrestleMania. It was underwhelming and it was unsatisfying. Last week I tried to give y'all praise and give y'all appreciation, but then this week is like, it almost felt like a desperation move on y'all part. It almost felt like y'all only did the storyline with Seth Rollins and John Cena for the shock factor. And that's it, but it wasn't no substance to come behind it. Now, again, I know that this is just 1 week into Seth Rollins filling out his group with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, but this past week should have made more of an impact. We should have really saw something. Like, this was the time to really drive that point home that it's a new group in town and that they're really on the verge of being the top group in the company. But it was almost the opposite of that. You know, I keep using the word recycle a lot when it comes to WWE. And that's what we're doing again. Not with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, but the first person that y'all chose to have these people go against, the first opposition of this new group is none other than Sami Zayn. And we all love Sami Zayn and we know what he brings to the table. But Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker just had an issue not too long ago. And they had a storyline where it went back and forth. If I'm not mistaken, I think Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental Championship from Sami Zayn. So again, why are we recycling this? Why is this the first person to go against this new supergroup or supposed supergroup? It's just not hitting. It's not hitting on all cylinders. It's not hitting the right marks at all. Again, it's just seeming like, I mean, I don't know what to call it now, to be honest. I don't know what's going on now, because now I'm getting a little worried. Seth Rollins just was not exciting at all this past Monday Night Raw. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was excited with him joining with Paul Heyman because I felt like he was about to turn into a star and we were going to see these star qualities shine from Seth Rollins. And I was really excited about that. How was this the first week after he's formed this new group? And I really could have just watched something else. Like, it's the NBA playoffs. I could just watch that. Like, if this is what we going to be doing, if we going to be coming out here with half stories, I could just go watch the NBA. Because as much as people say that the NBA viewership is down, we just saw LeBron get sent home in a great series with the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards, and an up-and-coming star of the league, if he's not the face of the league now. That was way more exciting than anything I've been seeing in WWE in a while. The only thing that WWE has been doing for excitement for me is just when Paul Heyman joined forces with Seth Rollins. I tried to be the person to give benefit of the doubt. And that's what I called myself doing last week, and even with my review for WrestleMania. But that was with the hopes of that was with the hopes that we were going to see exciting product moving forward. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania was good. It was a good Monday Night Raw, and they had different things in there that could try to keep you engaged. But if I'm being brutally honest, again, some of that stuff to me was just done out of a shock factor. Now that I'm seeing how the stories are progressing, not just the Seth Rollins story, but a lot of stories. The whole thing with Gunther and Pat McAfee, you know, that was a nice little spot to have, I guess, in a way. But y'all really, WWE is really about to make this like a feud. Gunther and Pat McAfee. What type of feud is that? Y'all really about to bury Gunther. You know what I'm saying? WWE, that is. Y'all really about to bury Gunther. And I don't understand. Like, again, I just keep being confused because I'm trying to leave it in the hands of the professionals, but something is just like, this is not working, man. But it's just not working. What is Pat McAfee going to do to threaten Gunther in any way? You see what I'm saying? Like, the thing with Gunther is, he has these historic runs and all of this potential, but he keeps losing the big one. He just lost at WrestleMania 2 years in a row, and the title match is that. And then to rebound from a title match, he's about to have a match with Pat McAfee. Like, that's what we doing. That's the thing that's going to either, is that supposed to get Gunther heat? Because Pat McAfee is great at commentary, and he's even shown that he could be good in the ring when he had a feud with Adam Cole years ago. So this is not about that. This is not saying that Pat McAfee is not a talented individual, but he shouldn't be the individual that's feuding with the former World Heavyweight Champion. So again, I'm just only bringing that up to say, like, as much as those things seemed exciting, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, I'm starting to think that these were just shock factors. These were just things to try to keep the fans engaged, because they're really, it seemed like they having a real big problem over there at WWE. I mean, it's not an emergency, obviously, but in my world, it's a big emergency. It's a cold red. You know what I mean? This is a level 9 emergency, because we already having some type of dilemma with The Rock. And I think episode 2 or 3, I made the assumption, and I'm going out on a limb, and I'm saying that it's something internally going on. I'm not going to speculate the exact parties involved, but it's definitely some type of turmoil going on within WWE, because it seems to be too many miscommunications and misfires over the past few weeks. And that's unacceptable when you just had WrestleMania. And a lot of the miscues happened with WrestleMania. And now, the second week after WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, I was just, again, feeling the way I felt leading into WrestleMania, which was underwhelmed, unsatisfied, and disappointed. I really had high hopes for this thing with Seth Rollins. But what I just saw on Monday Night Raw, I don't have high hopes anymore. You know, I really have to see something, you know, and I don't know why WWE feel like they could just keep squeaking by with these half storylines. Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn are having this back and forth about them being best friends and all this. I don't care about Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn being best friends. Sami Zayn is always friends with somebody, it seems like that's always like a part of his character. He's best friends with Kevin Owens. He's best friends with Jey Uso. He's always a best friend with somebody. So again, it's time to step this shit up, man. It's time to stop spoon feeding us and trying to hold our hand and pacify us with professional wrestling. Triple H went on the internet and spoke as if WWE fans are out of pocket for criticizing the product. How are we out of pocket for criticizing the product when the product is terrible? And then, like I said last week or on the last episode, Ariel Emanuel is the owner of TKO, which is co-owner or owner of WWE, and he asked The Rock to come back at Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania because ticket sales was low. So I don't even know if I can give that benefit of the doubt to say that at least y'all selling tickets. Somebody's story isn't adding up, and then all of a sudden The Rock just disappears. It's something going on internally in WWE. So, because before I thought that maybe it was just somebody making bad matches, it seems to be something much more drastic than that going on behind the scenes. And so just to get back to it, man, I'm tired of being babysat with professional wrestling, man. This Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker group is not working. Already. I've already seen all I needed to see. Maybe it can get better over time, but I'm starting to see that, like, I don't even think y'all have the right challengers for Seth Rollins in this feud. You really don't have the right challengers for Braun Breaker for reasons I mentioned before. He still needs work. Out of all the people in the WWE that we could have put around Seth Rollins to make this thing not only interesting but actually work, we just went with somebody that needs work. Like, they need help. Braun Breaker needs some more practice. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's not there yet. And that's a big reason why I felt like the story on Monday Night Raw just fell apart. Like, it was no excitement. It was no electricity. They might not just know what the hell they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm just being blunt, because why is this so difficult to put together? Myself and the fans that I've read on the internet, the comments, at one point, fans speculated that Seth Rollins should have had a group with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. If we were going to go this route that we're going right now with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker being with Seth Rollins, I would have I would have preferred to see Seth Rollins be with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. And we know Kevin Owens is out of action, but at least Drew McIntyre. I always felt like Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre kind of mirror each other a little bit. And I almost felt like they have a look where they seem like they could be in a group together. Because that's one of my knocks about this group with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. They don't even look like two guys that would be friends. They don't even look like two guys who hang in the same type of company. They don't look like two guys that would be in a group together. At least with Drew McIntyre, like I say, he kind of favors Seth Rollins a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, when you really pay attention, they kind of favor each other. So I would rather see Drew McIntyre be the guy with Seth Rollins, because it's almost reminiscent of like a Diesel and Shawn Michaels from back in the day. When those two guys were running together as a group, we could have went that route and just added a third person to it. Not Braun Breaker, but we could have figured out a third person to put with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And as I've alluded to, I'm a big fan of Drew McIntyre. And I think Drew McIntyre, the sky's the limit for him. So he needed to be the guy with Seth Rollins. You know, I don't even care no more about what y'all trying to set up in the future, because that seemed to be a thing that's something that the WWE seems to be using as a crutch, is the things that's going to come later. I don't care if Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman are going to be, if Paul Heyman is going to be the new advocate for Braun Breaker somewhere down the line, and this storyline sets up to that. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They could just do that then when it's time. But right now, for Seth Rollins, this is not the way that we need to be going, and Monday Night Raw showed me that. Seth Rollins didn't even look like a star anymore. The person that I saw at WrestleMania, that was the Seth Rollins I was excited to see moving forward.